The image of the beast, Abomination of Desolation. Numerous prophetic scripture passages speak of the image of the beast and the abomination of desolation. The image of the beast and the abomination of desolation is the same idol with different names. This video will analyze these prophetic verses and reveal what the image of the beast, abomination of desolation, is, spoken of by Daniel the prophet, Yeshua, Jesus, and the Apostle John in Revelation. Daniel 11, verse 31, with interpretation. And military forces shall be mustered by him, anti-Messiah, Antichrist, and they, military forces, shall defile the sanctuary fortress, third temple. Then they, military forces, shall take away the daily temple animal sacrifices of the Jews, and place there the abomination of desolation, image of the beast. Daniel 12, verse 11, with interpretation. And from the time that the daily temple animal sacrifice is taken away, and the abomination of desolation, image of the beast, is set up, there shall be 1,290 days. Matthew 24, verse 15 through 16, Mark 13, verse 14, with interpretation. Therefore, when you see the abomination of desolation, spoken of by Daniel the prophet, standing in the holy place, where it ought not, on the Temple Mount site in Jerusalem, let the reader understand. Let those who are in Judea flee to the mountains. The anti-Messiah, Antichrist, and his forces will invade and occupy Israel, will cause the Jews to flee Jerusalem and Judea, and will make Jerusalem desolate. The anti-Messiah, Antichrist, will enter the rebuilt temple in Jerusalem, where he will declare himself to be God, and will set up his image of the beast, abomination of desolation, idol, there to be worshipped as God.
The computer has been the most innovative and time-saving device known to man. Paid bills, made travel reservations, cooked meals. It's the new golden calf, a computer that speaks and convinces people that it thinks. Hundreds of millions of people will worship that inanimate object.
The image of the beast, abomination of desolation, is the age-old symbol of Satan, the wicked one who wants to ascend to be the all-knowing, all-powerful God, and is the one who causes destruction and desolation. Revelation 13, verse 2 through 4, with interpretation. Now the beast which I saw was like a leopard, Germany. His feet were like the feet of a bear, former Soviet bloc nations, and his mouth like the mouth of a lion, the United Kingdom. The dragon, Satan, gave him, the EU NATO beast, his power, his throne, and great authority. And I saw one of his, the EU NATO beast's heads, the United States, as if it, the EU NATO beast, had been mortally wounded by the destruction of the United States, and his deadly wound to the EU NATO beast was healed, as the EU NATO beast revived after the United States, Babylon the Great, was destroyed. Revelation 18. And all the world marveled and followed the EU NATO final Roman Empire beast. So they worshiped the dragon, Satan, who gave authority to the EU NATO final Roman Empire beast, and they worshipped the EU NATO final Roman Empire beast, saying, Who is like the EU NATO final Roman Empire beast? Who is able to make war with him? Revelation 13, verse 14 through 15, with interpretation. And he, anti-Messiah, Antichrist, deceives those who dwell on the earth by those signs which he was granted to do in the sight of the EU, NATO, final Roman Empire, beast, telling those who dwell on the earth to make an image to the EU, NATO, final Roman Empire, beast, who was wounded by the sword, destruction of the United States, and lived. He, anti-Messiah, Antichrist, was granted artificial intelligence programming power to give breath to the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause as many as would not worship the image of the beast to be killed. Many prophecy preachers to this day continue to incorrectly proclaim that the anti-Messiah, Antichrist, will receive a deadly wound, and Satan will either enter him or otherwise resurrect him.
When Satan's day has come, he will enter into this great trusted world leader, causing him to appear to arise from the dead.
This coming world leader is also going to survive some kind of an assassination attempt. The Bible talks about the fact that he will be wounded, but he will survive this. And so this will cause many to worship him outright.
When this Antichrist man dies, they lay him in state in the Capitol building beneath the 72 pentagrams and the apotheosis of George Washington. And that's not it. There's so much more numerology about the Capitol building and the 13 statues and the statutory hall. But I believe that's the real ritual. That's the one where he's going to raise, where the spirit of Osiris, which the Bible talks about this Apollyon coming up from the bottomless pit.
The anti-Messiah, Antichrist, is a human being with only one head. The beast that is wounded in Revelation 13 is a multi-headed international beast, NATO. It receives a deadly wound to one of its head nations, the United States of America, when America is destroyed by nuclear annihilation. NATO survives the deadly wound that it receives and goes on to become the final Roman Empire. The anti-Messiah, Antichrist, will be a European political world leader, and he will have the world worship the image of the beast, the Abomination of Desolation, in the rebuilt temple in Jerusalem, after he invades Israel and Israeli Jews are either captured or forced to flee their homeland. The anti-Messiah, Antichrist, will direct the world to make an image of the beast, the Abomination of Desolation, in honor of the EU NATO beast that receives a deadly wound to its empire, but survives the deadly wound and goes on to become the final Roman Empire. The anti-Messiah, Antichrist, will give the image of the beast, the Abomination of Desolation, AI, artificial intelligence programming, so that the image of the beast, the Abomination of Desolation, can speak and interact with humanity and cause people to worship it. The New World Order and Build Back Better. Many political leaders, rulers, and societal elites, anti-messiahs, antichrists, over the past century have been promoting and calling upon the world to establish a new world order. The U.S. dollar bill, issued since 1935, contains the phrase Novus Ordo Seclorum, which appears under the all-seeing eye pyramid and translates from Latin to English as New World Order or New Order for the Ages. The problem that the globalists have with establishing a new world order is that they must first destroy the existing world order, then replace it with their new world order. The end goal of the New World Order globalists is not to merely tear down buildings and cities and build them back better, as they say. The New World Order globalists want to tear down Judeo-Christian Western society and replace it with a godless, secular society in which they rule over humanity as gods.
What is at stake is more than one small country. It is a big idea, a new world order, where diverse nations are drawn together in common cause to achieve the universal aspirations of mankind: peace and security, freedom, and the rule of law.
And now is a time when things are shifting. There's going to be a new world order out there, and we've got to lead it, and we've got to unite the rest of the free world in doing it.
The final goal is to eradicate humanity as we know it. Once you understand the final destination, it becomes much easier to look back and identify the psychological conditioning, the biological tampering, the cultural grooming, and the educational prepping that we have been subjected to for decades in preparation to making us accept a post-human future. It takes a lot of physical and psychological abuse to get an intelligent species like ours to agree to its own extinction. Most, if not all, that has transcended in the last 60 years was designed to get us closer to accepting such a dystopian reality. Whether you care to accept it or not, we live in a hyper-controlled matrix where our perception of reality is meticulously planned, managed, and executed in order to control and steer us in whichever direction they wish. And the direction is a post-human world. For this, they first needed to destabilize, dehumanize, and demoralize humanity through every means possible. The destruction of the nuclear family, children being indoctrinated by the state, abortion, the eradication of God and spirituality from education, life in megacities and away from nature, toxic food, air and water, social media, replacing real human connection and interaction, engineered financial crisis and taxation, endless wars and massive migration, stress, anxiety, depression, drugs and alcohol, constant fear-mongering, moral relativism as the new religion, and I could go on and on about how humanity has been influenced and forced to move away from all the things that give us strength, security, purpose, and meaning. A weak, immoral, disconnected, ignorant, and unhealthy population is an easy target for the next stage, the creation of an entire generation of androgynous beings. Masculinity is under attack psychologically, culturally, and biologically. Women are being replaced in sports, entertainment, and politics by men pretending to be women. And children are being indoctrinated at school to think that gender is a choice. The transgender movement is not a grassroots movement. It comes from the top. It has nothing to do with people's freedom of expression, sexuality, or civil rights. It's an evil psyop with a clear agenda to get us closer to transhumanism by making us question the most fundamental notion of human identity, our gender. If you don't know who you are, if you already identify as a hybrid between a man and a woman, you will be easily convinced to become a hybrid between human and machine. Gender ideology is the 2 + 2 = 5 from George Orwell's 1984 dystopian novel. It's the final test to see whether we will follow the most absurd party line towards our own extinction. But 2 + 2 = 4. And no matter how you choose to dress, call yourself, or change your physique, will not change that. The sad reality, though, is that in the gaslighting process to get us closer to a post-human future, they have mentally and physically harmed an increasing number of children and young people, and it's only getting worse. This must be stopped.
The smoke of the torture goes up forever and ever, and they have no rest day or night, those worshipping the beast and his image. Also, if anyone receives the mark of his name. Revelation chapter 14 verse 11.
The cultural elites, political leaders, organized religions, and rulers of the world under satanic influence have been projecting throughout the ages what the image of the beast will be. After Israel is invaded and overtaken by the anti-Messiah, Antichrist, and his forces, the anti-Messiah, Antichrist, will set up the image of the beast, Abomination of Desolation, in the rebuilt temple in Jerusalem.
Change today.
Satan is not the all-seeing, all-knowing, almighty God, so he will use technology in an attempt to mimic the all-knowing abilities of God. People who take the mark of the beast will be linked electronically to the AI supercomputer image of the beast. Blessed are those who are martyred for refusing to worship the image of the beast, and the remnant of Jews who refuse to worship the image of the beast, accept Yeshua, Jesus, as their Messiah, and wait upon him for their redemption.